Hi, my name is Call BBS, and let's start with Close to the Sun. It's 1897. Deep in international waters, the Helios Station stands still. Born out of Nikola Tesla's vision, the Helios Station serves as a haven for the greatest scientific minds, an unbound utopia for research, independent from the state and isolated from the gaze of society, free to push the boundaries of matter and time. So you will step aboard the Helios in search of your sister, and you will quickly discover that something went wrong. Grand halls stand empty, and the stench of rotting flesh lingers in the air.
But why? Tell me why?
Well, because there are bodies on the ground, rotting. Yeah, when you see that, it can ring a bell in your mind that it might not be the usual state of this beautiful place. Or is it? That's what you have to find out. Yonder, the Cloudcatcher Chronicles. This title can be really entertaining for those who like farming and crafting games like Stardew Valley, My Time at Portia, and similar ones. Although it's not on the same level of quality, it's way shorter and smaller than those aforementioned, but it's really cute and interesting. If you have a hunger for games like that, it may be a good choice. Yonder is a relaxing open-world adventure set in a natural island paradise with 8 distinct environments ranging from tropical beaches to snow-capped summits. But this land is not as perfect as it seems. The mysterious Murg has taken hold of a land, so your task is to
remove it.
The Bloodline. This is an open-world fantasy action RPG where you will take on a role of a descendant of a magical lineage. You are gifted the power of foresight by an ancient god to protect the world from evil. Here the adventure is yours. You will follow quest lines to help the people or roam the world freely at your own pace, allowing organic opportunities or organic deaths to arise. You will reform bonds between kingdoms, construct a village, and prepare the world for the return of evil stuff. Just like in the Elder Scrolls games, here you will explore the world, join various guilds, hunt magical creatures, or become a bard at the local tavern. The game doesn't hold your hand or penis, you can enjoy and experience it in any way you desire. REAVER. The game is obviously inspired by Ultra Kill, not only by style but by quality as well. The review score is above 90%, and that is always a great thing. Also here, as in Quake games, you can fly off your own recoil. That's awesome. Also you will use grappling hooks, slamming, crouch sliding, and many more actions that are making this game fun. The game also combines various weapons to make them more efficient. You can throw a black hole into the crowd, then toss a grenade and shoot it for the best effect. And that effect is always very bloody and effective. I am a writer, I promise. The game is obviously very fast-paced. Here you can go almost unreasonably fast. As developers say, here you will challenge the limits of what fast-paced movement shooter is. People who play the game, just like me, are saying that this feels like a sequel to the Ultra Kill. Here you are fast and deadly, totally opposite of who you are in real life.
Slow and life-giving?
I don't know, man, shut up. Lisa. Title is very well rated on various platforms. For example, on Steam it has above 90% of positive reviews, and that should lock your attention in. Also, I must stress that the game is for adults, and it was hard for me just to show it for you without being demonetized. Anyway, this, as developers say, is a hilarious RPG of your wildest nightmares. Here you will undertake a relentless journey through a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Beneath its charming exterior is a world full of disgust and moral desolation, where you will learn what kind of person you truly are. You know, by being forced to make choices that permanently affect the gameplay. You will make sacrifices to keep your party members alive, whether it's taking a beating for them, losing limbs, or some other inhuman things. In this world you will learn that being selfish and heartless is the only way to survive. You know, just like in real life, don't act like you are a saint. Some people are saying that it is hard to get into the game right away, so there are a fair amount of players who love the game only from second or even a third try. So don't give up. Quern, Undying Thoughts. This is a first-person puzzle-adventure game inviting you on a journey to explore the beautiful land and solve many challenges. You'll put your IQ to the test with the increasingly complex puzzles and unravel the mysteries of the island. Remember Myst? So it's quite the same. It is original, and solving one or another puzzle is really rewarding. You know, for your ego. People on Steam are saying that Quern is one of the best puzzle games they ever played. It also has more than 90% of positive reviews, and the bad ones are mostly about technical issues. People don't realize that you should check your graphic card drivers all the time. For example, I couldn't even run Elden Ring without updating them. Anyway, this is a great game, really worth your money even when not on a sale. Battletech. Most of the games involving battle mechs are first or third person shooters, not this one. This is actually a real treat for turn-based strategy lovers. The year is 3025 and the galaxy is trapped in a cycle of war fought by noble houses with enormous mechanized combat vehicles. Here you will take command of your own mercenary outfit of mechs and mech warriors that pilot them. Struggling to stay afloat as you find yourself drawn into a brutal interstellar civil war, you will upgrade your staff warring base of operations, negotiate mercenary contracts with feudal lords, repair and maintain your stable of aging battle mechs, and execute devastating combat tactics to defeat your enemies on the battlefield, or be defeated over and over again until you actually learn to play. On Steam you can find people that have sunk hundreds of hours into this game, so this is by no means just a casual title. For you it can become a real spoon of delicious potato salad. Silt. This is an atmospheric puzzle adventure and exploration game with hints of horror made by ignoring all the existing colors. I love it, colors are for the weak. Here, alone in underwater abyss, you are a diver searching the deep to uncover long-forgotten mysteries. You are able to possess the creatures around you to solve puzzles and travel further into the darkness. I'll be honest, Silt looks absolutely beautiful and these hand-drawn backgrounds are, you know, I can agree with what developers are saying about their game.
It's an art brought to life.
Yeah, that's for sure. People on Steam are saying that this is a simplistic and fun puzzle game with the vibes of Limbo. The Wandering Village. This is a city-building simulation game. In a world where mysterious plants are spreading all over the earth and emitting toxic spores as they grow, a group of people seek shelter on the back of a giant wandering creature. Here you'll have to become their leader, build settlement and form a symbiotic relationship with the creature to survive together. Well, I hope that you can be really helpful for the creature, because, you know, otherwise those people are just parasites living on its back and you are the leader of parasites. That doesn't sound so dreamy and glamorous, right? Well, you help the creature to get rid of the evil plants, but I doubt that it is a good deal for the creature. You know, people are pooping and dying and planting stuff on your back. It's a colony of horror from the perspective of that dinosaur thing. Anyway, the game has around 90% of positive review score, but it is in early access, so some features are probably missing. Amid Evil. This is a retro-looking first-person shooter built on Unreal Engine 4, continuing the carnage of legendary Heretic. So if you are old enough and Heretic plays some strings in your mind, you already know that this game is worthy of your attention. Here you'll find 7 distinct episodes, each featuring a completely different setting and enemies, also magical weaponry that can be overcharged with the souls of the dead, and endless hordes of evil to eradicate. Players on Steam are praising the game because of its awesome music and visuals and incredible weaponry. There is also a VR version of the game available. Also, you can try a free demo as well. Cryofall. This is a sci-fi colony simulation survival game set on a forgotten planet in a distant future. You will join the world together with other survivors to rebuild your civilization from scratch. Start with primitive technology and simple tools, and use them to progress towards modern industrial might and even beyond, eventually reaching space-age technology only seen in science fiction. So it's a science fiction game where you seek to achieve some science fiction. Cryofall can be played either as a relaxed player versus environment experience with no competition, or as a brutal and unforgiving PvP. Make your choice and join one of the many available servers with different game modes, or host your own and invite your friends to join you. However, it's important to keep in mind that Cryofall is not for the faint of heart. The unforgiving environment can be brutal, and you might find yourself in situations where even a tardigrade would be jealous of your survival skills. Beautiful Desolation. I can honestly say that this is one of the coolest games I have ever played. It may sound silly because this is actually a point-and-click game, but it was made so well I was very impressed during my playthrough, and I still am. They wanted to create something original, something different and never seen before, and I can clearly say that they succeeded. I promise you that story-wise you never played anything like that. The whole game feels like some that surrealistic sci-fi dream of Carl Sagan, with weird characters, weird conversations and weird atmosphere in general that somehow still makes sense. If you ever read anything by Philip K. Dick, you will understand what I'm talking about. And this game is pure art, but it's hard. It won't guide you by a hand or penis, and puzzles you have to solve are no joke. So prepare to be mentally humiliated and deal with the fact that your IQ is not as high as you think it is. Scanner Sombre. Here, armed with a LiDAR scanner, you navigate through an underground cave system shrouded in darkness. Every step forward unravels a stunning display of luminescent colors as your scanner brings the world to life. It's a mesmerizing dance between light and shadow where the unknown awaits. But Scanner Sombre is not just about aesthetics, it's a game that tests your IQ. As you explore the depths, you will navigate through mind-bending puzzles that will make you question the level of your brain power, so make sure it's turned on in the first place. People on Steam are saying that the game is not scary, really short and has an interesting story, and more than 90% of reviews are positive. Black Skylands. This is a steampunk experience that combines elements of open world, sandbox, top-down shooter and action-adventure games. Here you'll become a skilled and valiant young sky marshal, fighting to protect your people from the invading bad guys. You will take command of your own airship and embark on a journey through a world of boundless skies. Gather resources to craft powerful weapons, upgrade your ship to new heights, unearth ancient secrets and engage in beautiful battles. When I played the alpha or demo version of this game a few years ago, I was really impressed by the style of the game. It surely draws inspiration from Hayao Miyazaki and his creations. Also, do yourself a favor and prepare for yourself some Abney Park, Steam Powered Giraffe and other soundtracks from steampunk bands. This way you can truly elevate your experience with Black Skylands, that's for sure. Gordian Quest. In this card game, you will lead heroes on an adventure to save what's left of the fallen world and destroy the root of evil. This is an epic deck-building RPG inspired by old-school classics like Ultima and D&D, but as it is popular nowadays, it is using gaming concepts like roguelite and turn-based strategic combat. You will form parties of heroes whom you will have to lead and manage on difficult missions, help them forge bonds and discover new skills among them. You will also find a campaign mode and venture through 4 acts, also roguelite mode and 10 different heroes, each with their own unique class, skills and playstyle, also various difficulty levels and tons of loot. Art-wise, game is great as well, and it is an owner of a very positive review score on Steam. Morbid, the 7 Acolytes. You are the last surviving person of your order. Your duty, for which you have trained your whole life, is to make the best potato salad in the world. Oh wait, that is another game. Here, instead of making delicious potato salad, you have to defeat the 7 Acolytes, a cursed and powerful beings possessed by malevolent deities. You will experience epic, brutal boss encounters and explore a diverse array of environments. Game has deep lore with NPCs, over 25 unique weapons, a great soundtrack consisting of 18 tracks, and of course, a Souls-like combat. People on Steam are saying that this is a great game for Dark Souls and pixel art lovers. I think it's obvious why. Source of Madness. This is a side-scrolling, dark action roguelite set in a twisted Lovecraftian world powered by a procedural generation and AI machine learning. You will take on the role of a new acolyte as you embark on a nightmarish odyssey, and in the process uncover the cosmic secrets of the creepy world and the Tower of Madness. The coolest thing here is that the horrific monsters you face are never the same. They are concocted with procedural generation and animated using a neural network AI. What can I say, the future is now. I can't wait for more expensive games, 3D games maybe, to start using similar or maybe more advanced technology. Monsters designed by artificial intelligence which is using our darkest fears as an algorithm would be beyond awesome. Spirittea. If you ever saw Hayao Miyazaki's masterpiece Spirited Away, you may be pleased to know that Spirittea is inspirited by this movie. The town here is crawling with troublesome souls, and you are the only one who can see them. So you'd better get that old bathhouse up and running. Maybe that will help them to chill out. The bathhouse is an ancient building hidden up in the mountain, and it's up to you to clean it up and fill it full of customers. And you better be sure that your customers are happy. Spirits aren't something you want to be angry at you. Like, have you seen The Ring? Anyway, once the beings visit your bathhouse, you'll need to clean towels, chop wood and heat the baths, and see the spirits with their friends for the ultimate bathing experience. So no stinky spirits in this game. Sunless Sea. This is a horror gothic game. Here you'll be able to explore the Victorian Gothic universe of fallen London, with a focus on exploration and exquisite storytelling. But be careful, some trips might lead you to a certain death, or worse, cannibalism, or the worst, lack of potato salad. Anyways, people really enjoy the beautiful art of this game. Here you'll also meet some very well painted Lovecraftian sea monsters, and the whole vibe in general is very ominous. Even though you will have to read walls of text here, you will do that with joy, enjoy because the writing is fantastic, but don't expect fancy combat or fast plot lines full of exciting events. No, game is slow, but the brilliant storyline, writing quality, and world-building aspects are all handled very well. The only downside is, since you will die a lot, you will have to start over. If the giant crabs, sentient icebergs, and swarms of bats don't get you, madness and cannibalism certainly will. And those nicely written texts won't seem as nice to read for the 10th time. Sunless Sea is more like choosing your own adventure novel than a game. If you like slow-paced, story-rich games, then get in the boat and try to fish the biggest marinated herring you can find. Yes, they come from sea already marinated, if you're lucky enough. Talespire. It is a beautiful way to play pen and paper RPGs, except here you won't need pen and paper. Instead, you can bring your own stories to life and embark upon campaigns together with your friends. Regardless of where you are in the world, the engine of Talespire will do everything it can to make you happy. Well, sadly, it can't make potato salad. Just a disclaimer. So, in a way, it's a tabletop game where rules, battles, and adventures are supervised by AI. As developers say, the beauty of real-world tabletop gaming here meets the endless possibilities of a digital world. Here you can build your adventures without compromising the handcrafted aesthetic of using traditional miniatures. You can take on a mantle of multiple heroes and creatures, manage your stats, and express yourself using the emote system. Perform dice rolls directly on board and interact with your environment. As a game master, you can dazzle and thrill your friends by building expansive maps, setting up shots, and controlling immersive soundscapes to bring all your delightful and devious designs to life. I also have to say that Talespire is not tied to a specific game or rule set. You make rules or bend them as you wish, and the game makes sure that no one can break them. Last Call BBS. This doesn't look like much, but hear me out. The game has overwhelmingly positive review score, and the trick is that this is not one game, not 2 games, not 3 games, not 4 games, not 10 games, not 100 games, and not 1000 games. This is 8 games in one. Most of them are various puzzles, and some of them are something else. Creepy, kinky, weird stuff, you know, everything your ex-girlfriend liked, but not your current wife. And people are saying that you shouldn't play the game if you don't like retro games. For example, I would rather drink hamster's milk from the source than play something like that. I'm not a young man anymore, but I was never a fan of old stuff or stuff that pretends to be old. Nostalgia is bad for you, you should quit while you can. So play this if you like the concept, not because it reminds you of old good days. Those will never come back, no matter what you play. Last Train Home. Here you will embark on a desperate mission through the depths of a wasteland ravaged by war. Your goal is to guide Czechoslovak soldiers back to home on board an armored train. But the path ahead is fraught with peril. Caught in the middle of a brutal civil war between Russia's red and white armies, your unit must remain in fighting shape, managing what little resources you have and maintaining morale at all costs. Venture through the bleak and unforgiving landscape of Siberia, where the freezing cold and the merciless environment will push you to your very limit. Resources are scarce and your crew is exhausted, but you must never give up. All my life I rode made in Czechoslovakia trolleybuses in Vilnius. Some of them are still riding in the streets. They are like 50 years old and they still run. So one thing I'm completely sure about these guys: everything that's made in Czechoslovakia is unbreakable, except the country itself. What an irony. Blair Witch. I never played the game myself because I expected it to be very scary, so I watched the entire playthrough on YouTube. I really love watching horror games being played by people with way bigger balls than I have. So what can I say? Blair Witch is not a very scary game. It is dark and psychologically challenging, but the level of horror isn't very high. I could probably play it without much struggle. The game itself is quite linear, so don't expect much action. All you'll do here is hold the W key. Sometimes relaxed and sometimes you will press way harder, depending on the situation of course. So basically it is a walking simulator with menacing and beautiful visuals. Anyway, the story starts in 1996. A young boy disappears in the forest, and you, a former police officer with a troubled past, join the search. What starts as an ordinary investigation soon turns into an endless nightmare as you confront your fears and the Blair Witch herself, a mysterious force that haunts the woods. Creepy but very fun. Trover saves the universe. This humoristic game is quite crazy, and there is why. Your dogs have been kidnapped by a lunatic named Glorcon, who stuffed them into his eye holes and is using their life essence to destroy the universe. It's hard to go more loco than that. It's possible, but hard. So you are partnered with Trover, a little purple eye-hole monster who isn't a huge fan of working or being put in the position of having to save the universe. He also kinda hates you as well. So there the mechanics kick in. You control Trover's movements, but not his mouth. He got a lot to say about what's going on in the game, and about you of course. The game has around 90% of positive reviews, so if you like humor, there is no escape. You should play it. Stoneshard. I was recommended this game by one of my Patreon supporters, and since then I keep an eye on it. The game is still in early access, but it has a great potential. Stoneshard is a turn-based RPG set in an open world where you can create your own character without any limitations. Well, that is what developers say. I'm pretty much sure that you can't create beer or vodka bender here. Or can you? The game is set in a grim environment. Villages lie in ruins, dungeons are infested with monsters, and old roads are all abandoned. Although Stoneshard presents many opportunities, you can fulfill contracts, hunt for treasure, trade in a variety of goods, and travel the land to earn your fortune. Sadly, it has this terrible moving system, so it's up to you if you can actually handle that. And if you are some kind of masochist, keep in mind that in this game you can choose to play in permadeath mode and die once and for all.
Turnip boy robs a bank.
That dude is a real menace, and he is ready to commit more felonies in this comedic action-adventure game with roguelike elements. This time the career criminal is teaming up with a fearsome pickled gang to plan and execute the most notorious heist of all time. You will have to shake down hostages, steal precious valuables, and explore the deep, dark depths and history of the botanical bank. You'll need to purchase an array of dangerous and wacky tools from the dark web. However, bank robbing isn't easy, so be prepared for intense shootouts with security vegetables and elite SWAT teams. People on Steam aren't holding their horses when they speak about the game. Almost unanimously people are praising the title and calling it a masterpiece. Although keep in mind that it is quite short, it will take from 6 to 10 hours to beat. Agatha Christie, Murder on the Orient Express. Here will discover a modernized and revisited version of Agatha Christie's classic book. Set in 2023, Murder on the Orient Express brings the classic tale to life in a way that may surprise even the most dedicated fans. Game isn't blindly following the original story. Here you'll find brand new elements and experience the mystery and suspense of the most famous case of Hercule Poirot. So here a crime is committed on the train. During your trip you are surrounded by a group of singular characters, all suspects, each with their own secrets and motives. And your job is to single out the murderer amongst them. Solving the mystery won't be easy. Through numerous twists and turns you will have to use your enormous IQ to unravel the mystery and bring it to life. I wish games like that had an actual brain capability requirement, so you won't lose the money if you are, a bit dumber. So before you buy, you would have to solve a small puzzle, preferably from the game, to unlock the payment options. If you fail, the game is obviously not for you. Buy some other game, and if you solve it in a matter of seconds, that may tell you something as well. Just an idea, but kinda nice one, huh? Ancient Planet Tower Defense. It is time to take a break, to rest your mind from various zombie games, from shooters or complex 4X strategies, and just entertain yourself. And tower defense games are one of the best ways to achieve that. It is not a new title by any means, it was released in 2015, but so was the third Witcher. They knew how to make good games back then, that's for sure. So here you'll find 40 unique levels and plenty of diverse enemies and features. Also you can upgrade everything, and the art style is great, also a very positive review score, and this price is probably the combo you needed today. If you like tower defense games, it may be your spoon of potato salad. Cocoon. This wonderful game is made by the same designer who developed legendary Limbo and Inside, so that should grab your attention. Also the fact that the game is a proud owner of more than 90% of positive review score on Steam. This is a unique take on the puzzle-adventure genre where each world exists within an orb that you can carry on your back. Here you'll have to wrap your head around the core mechanic of leaping between worlds and combine, manipulate and rearrange them to solve intricate puzzles. You will interact with alien environments and biomechanical devices left behind by an ancient civilization, journey through unique and diverse biomes, from industrial structures to massive organic caverns. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing, that's gross. Anyway, you will have to discover how these worlds and environments are connected to one another. People who played it are praising the game and saying that it will bend you over, at least your mind. Hob. The game was made by the same guys who created legendary Torchlight and Torchlight 2. Presented without text or dialogue, Hub's story is revealed as you explore a mysterious planet and interact with the strange life forms that inhabit it. You will transform this world by solving puzzles and repairing the planet itself. The landscape will change before your eyes, opening new areas to uncover and explore. People are saying that the game is just a partial RPG, it's mostly oriented to puzzle solving, but in general will scratch the itch you have for the great games you may never have heard of before. Although be warned that without a controller the experience may not be the same, be sure you have it. Actually, playing Hob without one, it's like trying to ride a traditional bike by pedaling with your hands. The Eternal Cylinder. You know how we are always whining about all the games being the same. All the games copy other games and then some copies become even more popular than the originals and then everyone is copying the copies until the cycle repeats itself. Yeah, that's not the case with the Eternal Cylinder. I doubt that I have seen anything like this. The game is obviously inspired by some crazy artist or made by one. So here you'll control this cute creature and wander around with various tasks. But the true meaning of this game lies in its name. An enormous rolling cylinder is approaching, and you, along with everything around, are its pizza dough. It is a mobile megastructure of unknown origin. It has destroyed and absorbed countless civilizations over the billions of years of its existence, and will do the same to you and your land. It can be delayed, but it has never been truly stopped.
Well, maybe bigger being can stop it.
What do you mean by bigger being?
I'm talking about your mama.
Oh, shut up. So I guess if you fail, everyone will die. Game has very positive reviews and it's really underrated. Also, the soundtrack is free to download. That is not what you see every day in this greedy world, that's for sure. The Deadly Tower of Monsters. The game treats itself as a 1970s movie. That is not a joke, that is the whole concept of the game. It is filled with classic themes such as the daughter versus tyrant father, the planet full of innocent ape creatures, the dashing space-age liberator, the robot companion, or the tower full of treacherous mutations. As developers say, a timeless classic for all ages. So in general, this is an action-adventure sci-fi comedy game with dynamic narration set in a retro-futuristic environment. You can play it alone or together with your friends or mother-in-law on a shared or split screen. Game has full controller support and, honestly, full support of your poverty, because the price is more than friendly. Narcosis. This is a horror game set at the sunless depths of the Pacific Ocean. Stranded on the seafloor with low lights and few tools, you, an industrial diver, will have to take desperate steps to the surface before your oxygen and sanity runs out. You are trapped in your suit, or as you call it, a walking coffin. So be careful. High-stress situations will accelerate oxygen intake, distorting sight, sound, space, and time. Your only weapons against the nightmarish flora and fauna of the abyss is a knife, flashlight, and a few flares. Here you won't find any shadowy organizations and eldritch terrors, only primal human fears and human limits. The game is very short, it will take around 3 hours to finish. But hey, as I always say, better short fun than a long agony. This war of mine. Here you will take care of a group of civilians trying to survive in a besieged city, struggling with lack of food, medicine, and constant danger from snipers and hostile scavengers. The game provides an experience of war seen from an entirely new angle. The pace of the game is imposed by the day and night cycle. During the day, snipers outside stop you from leaving your refuge, so you need to focus on maintaining your hideout, crafting, trading, and taking care of your survivors. And at night, take one of your civilians on a mission to scavenge through a set of unique locations for items that will help you stay alive, you know, like medicine or a box of beer. Underrail. Game is set in a distant future when life on the surface has long gone and the only remnants of humanity now dwell in the Underrail, a vast system of metro station states that, it seems, are the last bastions of a fading race. Here you take control of one of the denizens of such a station state, whose life is about to become all that much more interesting and dangerous as you are caught in the middle of conflicting factions of the Underrail as they violently struggle to survive in the harsh underground environment. Game will take about 60 hours of your boring life, so it's a decent storyteller, although it's difficult and may sometimes infuriate you. Card Shark. Something really refreshing this time. Card Shark is an adventure game full of cunning, intrigue, and delectable deceit. You will enter a world where you will need to play your opponents better than you play your cards. For example, when I play cards, I often cheat. For me, not winning is not an option. That's why I never play cards with strangers. You know, I avoid getting shot. But in this game, everything is way more serious. You will have to cheat your way to the top of 18th century French society. Master deceptions using card marking, false shuffles, deck switching, false deals, and more. Use your ill-gotten gains to buy your way into the closed world of high stakes, or even to a table of a king himself. And yeah, please don't get caught while cheating a king. Cat Museum. This is a surreal, psychedelic point-and-click puzzle adventure like you have never seen before. If you like cats and original design and artwork aren't your enemies, then this game is probably for you. A museum sits in the middle of nowhere and is guarded by a mysterious cat. You unexpectedly become the manager of the museum and take on a job of repairing it. You must find hidden clues and solve the puzzles, all while dealing with this mischievous cat. The deeper you go, the closer you will get to the frightening answers. And there are so many questions, at least in your head. More than 90% of positive reviews, and this price is an irresistible combo. Stasis, Bone Totem. Perhaps I should start with the fact that the game has an overwhelmingly positive review score on Steam. That is always a great sign. Here you'll take control of Mac and Charlie, a husband and wife duo who make their living by searching the ocean for salvage. But when you stumble upon an abandoned oil rig in the Pacific Ocean, you uncover a horrific secret, and the evil corporation behind it will do anything to keep it hidden. As you embark on your adventure, you will encounter an immersive narrative filled with spine-tingling horror and unexpected twists. Stasis Bone Totem, despite being a psychological horror game, is kinda relaxing because of the point-and-click nature and an interesting puzzles to solve. Conarium. This is a chilling Lovecraftian game that follows the gripping story of 4 scientists and their endeavor to challenge what we normally consider to be the absolute limits of nature. And no, they're not teaching a cat to roll over. That is impossible. The task is way more easier, to be honest. The game is inspired by H.P. Lovecraft's novella At the Mountains of Madness, but largely set on the original story. You'll find a plot infused with lots of secrets and Easter eggs, ominous but wonderful graphics created with Unreal Engine and multiple endings. Game has a chilling atmosphere, so be sure your mental balls are hard to crack. Although do not expect a lot of action here, this is mostly a walking simulator with a mist-like puzzles. Rustler. As developers say, they took the inspiration for the Rustler from the Monty Python and first 2 GTA games and made a medieval game out of that. I can remember playing the first part of GTA for hours and hours and skipping school because of it. Never regretted that. Anyway, the Rustler is a humorous approach to the medieval genre. You'll find stuff such as no parking zones for your horse and police horses that have flashing red and blue lights on them. Game is set in an open world and you play as the guy, whose parents apparently were too lazy to give him a proper name. You'll experience feudal justice, inquisition, witch hunting, and join the grand tournament. Meet incredibly stupid knights, complete a wide variety of twisted missions and quests, or ignore the plot and bring mayhem in the villages and cities. Choose to go on foot or buy a stolen horse, fight with a sword, or pick fancy automatic crossbow. All that spiced up with a Monty Python inspired sense of humor, and you can burn down the whole village as well.
And now, thank you for watching, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.